Wanted to just take a minute and talk about some great research tools. If you're looking to expand your horizon in studying the Pentateuch, I want to introduce you to four tools that I really have found helpful over the years. The first is the Jewish resource called Mikraot Gedolot. I suppose that means something like the Great Commentary. And what it is a collection. You can see this is a work that was done in Hebrew, and then they translate it for you on the adjacent page. And you can see like Rashi, Ibn Ezra, Rambam, the Light of Life. I don't know what that is, but it's a collection of quotes. And if you have read a technical commentary and they're referencing Rashi or something like that, nearly always this will be the place where it's coming from. Now, you can go to any research library and find this set. I think it's 22 volumes or something like that. It is multiple volumes for some books, but every book is covered. And so if you're doing historic research and you want to know, well, how have Jewish people interpreted a passage through time, and you want to see kind of the heavyweights, well, this is the resource to go to. Very accessible. It is printed from back to front, so it follows the Hebrew way, but in a short time you can use it, and you will find incredible quotes, like the fact Genesis 22:2, God says, please do this, with the particle of entreaty na. There isn't any English translation that I know of that will translate na there. They just ignore it. But here you have Jewish interpreters, not Christian interpreters, Jewish interpreters, making a point that is fairly significant in terms of exegesis. So this resource, Mikraot Gedolot, the commentator's Bible, fantastic. You can get access. Now, you can get this in Logos in a different edition. I think it's called the Commentator's Bible, and if I click on this, it's very accessible, and you can see it will list the interpreters and give additional comments. It follows English order, so very helpful resource, and I encourage you to use it. The second resource that I use all the time is the Ancient Christian Commentary on Scripture. I call this the ACC. Nearly any good research library will have this set. I think Logos sells it as well, in accordance to. It often will go on sale right around the $200 mark, $275. Every now and then you can get it a little cheaper. This has fantastic summaries, and I don't have it activated here because I'm in Keynote, but if you hover over it, will give you the years of all these people. It will give you a great summary of what they believed. And so in 20 minutes, you can find out what Christian wisdom over the ages, throughout the ages, from the earliest church fathers up until, I don't know, maybe just short of 1000 AD. Really good, really helpful resource. I use it all the time. Before Logos, I purchased many of these in the paper copy, used them all the time. When it came out in Logos, I got it again. I use it nearly every day, so I commend it to you. Third resource, in terms of modern commentators, I think this volume, the Pentateuch Narrative, may be the most helpful that I've come across. Maybe you could argue T. Desmond Alexander, some of his work, but in terms of going to a text and just giving a great lay of the land view, Sailhamer is a fantastic scholar. Well, he's died recently, I think, but fantastic, clear thinker, and so I commend it to you. This is an example of the kind of thing you might run across in this book, and this is the statement: the two of them were naked and unashamed. Sailhamer points out that the term naked, as it's spelled there in 225, and the word crafty, which is like 7 words later, there are no paragraph, no chapter breaks, that they're spelled exactly the same in the Hebrew text. And Sailhamer points out that that's not the normal way nakedness is spelled. In 3:7, just 7 verses later, 2:25, who told you that you were Arum? Arumim, I think, is the form that actually appears, and the serpent was the most Arum, and so you can hear Arumim and Arum, that those are basically the same words or playing off the sound. Nakedness in 3:7 is Arom, and so Arum and Arom, and Sailhamer suggests that nakedness there is more exile nakedness, and so what you have with Sailhamer is someone who is very, very, very good at volume reading volume reading Hebrew, and making suggestions for us in terms of interpretation. So Pentateuch Narrative, you may be able to pick up this book secondhand. I think it's still sold on Amazon, but really a go-to resource. And lastly, if you have access to a good research library, you may want to look at the Targums. So once Israel went into exile, when they came back, eventually most people lost the ability to converse on a day-to-day level in Hebrew, and Aramaic became the language of choice. And so eventually the Old Testament was translated into Aramaic for Jewish people, and the Targum, as it's called, is an interpretive translation. Some are more literal and some are more interpretive, but I'll give you an example. This is Targum Neophiti on Genesis 1:1, and it says, from the beginning with wisdom, the Memra of the Lord created and perfected heavens and the earth. And of course, Memra is the way in Aramaic you say the word. And so it's at least worthy of asking, is John, when he talks about the Word was with God and the Word was God, is he operating in a community that had shared ideas about God in his eminence, in a way of speaking of God in his eminence? And you can see that the text here is connecting wisdom. And of course, you have that passage in Proverbs 8:22 through 35, where wisdom is with God at creation and delighting in the sons of Adam, but before the mountains were formed. And so when you come to a resource like the Targum, you have access, and there are several different Targums for Genesis, Targum Pseudo Jonathan, Targum Onkelos. Most every book of the Bible has at least one Targum in this set, the Aramaic Bible. It has all of them. I wish I could have had a photocopy, but it's very good. It deals, it has footnotes on text critical problems, and so it's something that you would greatly benefit from in working through material on the Pentateuch. So these 4 resources, the Targum and the whole series, a great way to see how Jewish people interpret things. John Sailhamer's The Pentateuch as Narrative, just solid gold in many of the insights. The Ancient Christian Commentary on Scripture give you a summary of the first 1,000 years of biblical interpretation, or up to about 1,000 years. And then Mikraot, Gedolot, a way of, in a very short time, being able to see what Jewish heavyweights have said about any particular passages. So that's what I have for you, 4 great research tools, and I'll look forward to making some more of these videos to show some things that I've found helpful. But until then, I will look forward to talking to you next time.